It's getting to the point where I almost never want to go on side roads again for anything.
Yeah, it's been pretty stressful, hasn't it?
It has been. I think just going through Indianapolis would have probably been stressful for a bit, but it probably would have been as stressful as this.
You ready, Henry? Henry's ready. You all ready? We're leaving this casino in South Bend today. We were here for almost 2 days. We're probably going to have a few heavy travel days to get through some areas that we have to get through. Today's trip is about 220 miles, and then we're probably going to travel again tomorrow and the next day. So we're not rushing, but sometimes we have to travel. Sometimes we have to travel more in order to get where we're going. So come along and join us, and we'll see you at our destination. Stay tuned to see where we end up today. All right, you ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. We're going south on...
Turn left onto the US 20 East ramp.
We're going left on US 31 south. Is a divided highway, and we really like traveling on divided highways. It's a little bumpy. We really like traveling on divided highways as much as possible. Today we're going to go past Indianapolis, and incidentally, Indiana is considered the crossroads of America. It's called the crossroads of America. Part of the reason for that is because so many interstates crisscross in Indianapolis. But we're going to avoid Indianapolis today because, first of all, it's a busy travel day. Fridays are busy travel days. And so we found a way to go around it instead of going through it because the traffic there is pretty, it's a lot. And so we try to avoid it if we can. Interstate 60. Oh, Henry agrees. Interstate 65, 69, 70, and 74 all intersect in Indianapolis. So we're glad to be going around all that. Right, Henry? With a population of almost 1 million people, Indianapolis is a really big city to have to drive through, and we like to avoid the big cities whenever we can. And
exactly, I'm out for that. I don't relish the thought of going through a huge city, especially on a busy day.
We already avoided going past Chicago or the Chicago area. We've often gone through that way, and it's been pretty stressful for Sal. I think it's stressful for anybody, and I think it's even harder when you're in an RV. Now we're going to be getting on 25 South, Route 25 South, on our bypass of Indianapolis. There's a town called Logansport, which seems a little familiar to me, but I'm not sure. I don't remember going through this way, but it's possible. 25 now. Next goal is to find a bathroom or a place to pull over. This one is not a divided highway. Well, the bypass took us right through a neighborhood. I think it's Logansport, I think, that we're in. But at that light, we're going to be turning back onto a more major street. It's taking us through a neighborhood. Yeah, just follow this one, that's fine.
In 1/2 mile, turn right on Bolden 25.
Right that.
Yeah. It's taking us through this neighborhood. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it seems like it's okay. There's a school bus in front of us. I like to stay on more major routes. Now we're on Old Indiana 25.
In 1/2 mile, turn right on US 35 South.
When we left the casino, we got on the 31. There was this pickup truck that passed us, and then he was in front of us, and a house door came flying out of the bed of his truck, and it hit the road. Luckily, we were far enough away where the door split into pieces and got out of the way. The wind blew it away, but that was pretty concerning there with that.
Yeah, because it was close enough that we were concerned, but luckily it turned out okay.
Yeah, and that guy just kept going right along on his merry way, never oblivious to the fact that he lost the door.
And it was a house door?
It was a house door. He must have been doing some kind of construction somewhere, and it just came flying out of his back. Obviously, he didn't secure whatever he had in the back of that bed, the bed of that truck, including that door. He didn't secure it well enough.
Hello, Henry. Oh, there he is getting up. I told Henry to behave on this trip, so he's been behaving. You know, Henry listens to us. One day Sal told him to go in a certain spot to sleep, or he invited him. Hey, Henry, why don't you come over here and sleep by us? And Henry did it. And then he invited him to go sleep up in the top corner of the bed, and Henry did it. So Henry's pretty smart, right, Henry? Yeah. This is trying to take us on all these weird roads, and we don't know.
Soldiers Home Road exit.
We don't know if it's okay to go on them, so we're just going to follow this, and we're going to end up going past Indianapolis anyway.
Turn right on Soldiers Home Road.
All right, well, we were going to turn around at a Walmart and follow this thing, which keeps trying to take us through Indianapolis. But now I think we finally got on another truck route, Route 231, so it ended up being okay. Crazy.
Yeah, it feels good to be on this road now, and hopefully this will take us where we got to go all the way to our destination.
One thing about our route in Indiana, maps wanted to take us on N900 East, and I wasn't sure if that would be an okay road for the RV, so we avoided that. If anybody in the Indiana area is familiar with N900 East and knows if trucks go on that route, let me know. It looks like we're in a town called Crawfordsville, Indiana. Just a little town, or maybe not too little, well, reasonably small.
The street, turn right.
Are you sure? She says at the end of the street, turn right. It's getting to the point where I almost never want to go on side roads again for anything.
Yeah, it's been pretty stressful, hasn't it?
It has been. I think just going through Indianapolis would have probably been stressful for a bit, but it probably would have been as stressful as this, what we've had to go to. Well, it probably wouldn't have been as stressful as this.
I looked at Sal's Maps timeline, and it says that we went 171 miles and spent 4 hours and 18 minutes. So that's kind of, yeah, that's pretty slow travel. Sal was telling me a little earlier that this seemed like it was a how many mile trip?
300 miles, but now even more than that. That's crazy.
So it seemed like 300 miles. I don't think it seemed like that much, but I think it seemed like over 200, which it says it was only 171 so far. We got about 20 miles to go, or less, but it seemed long. We thought it was 218, but it looked like it was less.
I'm thinking, unless we know for sure what side streets are like, side roads are like, I think we should just stay on the interstates. There are some good side roads. There's the go around in Arizona around Phoenix, and that one's awesome. But this one is crazy. It's like just incredibly long and stressful and just, I don't know. I don't think I'd come back this way again.
Yeah, me neither.
It feels good to be back on the interstate. Those side roads are for the birds.
We made it on Interstate 70 with about 9 miles to go. Oh, about the Indiana roads here.
We've been on highway roads before, but these were the worst ever. I mean, it's horrible.
Highway?
The side roads.
Except for the one in Tennessee, right?
That in itself is a whole different story.
It was a good story. If you missed it, you should watch it. I'll link it in the video description. This interstate is pretty bad. Since we got on 70, the road has been pretty bad. We're trying to do an overnight at a Walmart. We're hoping they still allow it. It's kind of iffy whether they do. Welcome to Terre Haute. I like this fuel stop here, 359 for diesel. So we're gonna stop there, and then Walmart's just a little bit down the road.
All right, here goes.
Well, we made it to the Walmart in Terre Haute. We're just gonna try to figure out if we can stay here or not. Check in with the store. Looks like we're able to stay.